Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Battlehawks show. Today we're going to go over the preview of Week 2 from St. Louis versus the Battlehawk or versus San Antonio. Week 2 in the Battle Dome, and we will also be going over the preview to Week 3 in the Battle Dome, back-to-back weeks against the DC Defenders, who are also 2-0. Going to be a big game. We hate those guys. All right. They pee sitting down. Anyway, how was the crowd? How was the attendance in the Dome and the home opener in Week 2? Where do the Battlehawks stand in the standings, being 2-0, looking dominant in the first 2 weeks? Who was the star of the game this week in Week 2 again? And Butler was out this game after last week when I said he was going to be my star of the game. Right after that, the next day on Friday, they announced him out. So I look pretty bad on that. We'll get to that all and more right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for Week 3 preview. But first, we are going over Week 2. A little bit late. I promise I'm going to be on schedule from now on. My preview games from the previous week will be held on Monday every week, and from now on, and then my pregame shows will be on Thursdays every week. Promise, guaranteed, no questions asked. Unless, life happens, which life does happen sometimes. Week 2, let's go over this real quick. We'll go over some stats and just some opinions of mine. All right. Battlehawks won, home opener, in the Battle Dome, St. Louis, Missouri, prime time, 5:30 on Sunday. They won 26-9. San Antonio looked bad again, scoring single-digit points again. The San Antonio team looks different from last year. They do. But we hate them. Their players showed massive disrespect to the fans. We got them back, though. Don't you worry about that. Again, Sailors looked amazing. 3 tutties. He had 11 carries for 46 yards. Okay, now those 11 carries were important. All right, he got a lot of first downs. He did, and he did what we asked him to do. As of right now, man, Hammer Wilkins, I mean, I haven't really watched any DC games, which I guess I need to. But one of them MVP right now. I would have to say Sayers. He's a monster, dude. 3 touchdowns. Rushing, by the way, all rushing. He also had 3 receptions for 25 yards. So on those 11 carries for 46 yards, he had 3 tutties in there. But one was Manny Wilkins. Looked great. Played tough at home. Like I said earlier, San Antonio did not look great. Again and again. Anyway, sorry, I'm bouncing everywhere. Let's go into attendance for Week 2. If you had a guess, what do you think the home opener numbers would be? 25,000, 28,000, 30,000, 32, 35, 40,000? No, we didn't get that high. Anthony Beck wants all of us to bring a friend. Then we'll get 40,000, which would be true. We'd actually get 60,000 if everybody brought a friend. Because we packed 32,115 in the Battle Dome for home opener. Excuse me. Pardon me. Forgot to put my phone on silent. Yes, that was R2D2. If you heard that and you're like, what was that? Anyway, anywho, back in it. We packed the dome. We were loud on defense and quiet on offense and celebrated all of our great achievements for the day. I will say that. The crowd did show up. We were there. We were loud. We made our appearance known well. New turf was awesome. The lights were awesome. The only thing that I have to complain about was the speaker system. Apparently, they got a new sound system. Couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear anything the PAs were saying. Couldn't really. I mean, we could hear the announcer. I guess that would be the PA. But anyway, the host, the guys that are on the field and go out throughout the crowd and the DJ, we could hear the music, but we really couldn't hear them talking. They need to fix that for week two. If I had to complain about anything for week 2 in the Battle Dome, other than nothing, it was great. We got a battle win. That's all that matters. Then we got to defend our home this coming up weekend. Let's get into some stats here. All right. Your St. Louis Battlehawks. Let's go over some passing. Manny Wilkins, 12 for 16, 162 yards. No touchdowns through the air. No touchdowns rushing either. But he was 75% completion, QBR of 106. Not bad. Max Duggan came in. Duggan. He was 0 for 1. All right. He did run for 4 attempts for 10 yards. He did have a long run of 13, but he was also back behind the line. So we had a total of 162 yards through the air. No touchdowns through the air, but that's not bad. Kellen Mond did not look great on the other side of the ball for San Antonio. 3 for 27 with 129 yards and a pick. QBR rating of 46. All right. Manny Wilkins was our leading rusher for the day. 9 attempts for 58 yards. No touchdown, but he did have a long run of 18. And on that 18-yard run, he had a massive stiff arm. And he made that guy know who did it. Made him know he was little. He punched the ball. They got a PI. We got basically down in the inside the 5 and then scored. It was nice. Manny Wilkins, 9 for 56. Jacob Sailors, 11 for 46. 3 touchdowns on the ground. That 20-yarder. That 20-yard was his longest, and it was for the touchdown to open up the season with the first touchdown of the year. Ja'Cour Pearson had 2 rushing attempts for 14 yards. Not a lot from Howard this game. 6 attempts for 13 yards. Averaged 2.2 yards a rush. Not that great. Anthony McFarland was the leading rusher for the Brahmas. 6 for 55. Then Jansen Corbin, 10 for 36 with a touchdown. And then Keelan Mond, the quarterback, 6 for 19. They had 112 yards on the ground. We had 164 on the ground, spread out between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. And one guy had -2. So he did not help Blake Jackson, -2 yards for 1 attempt. They had 19 attempts for 112 yards. Like I said, we had 39 attempts for 164 yards. We ran the crap out of the ball and took a lot of time off the clock. Our receiving, Gary Jennings led the day with his 1 reception. Now, we don't get a lot of receptions, but we do spread the ball around. Gary Jennings had this nice reception for 58 yards, and that was his only reception on the day and actually led the team in yards. Next guy closest to him was Blake Jackson, 1 for 26. No touchdown, and that was his only target of the day. He 1 target, 1 catch. Jacob Sayers, 3 for 25, 4 targets. Denzel Mims, 2 for 20. Jacob Sutherland, which we need to get him more involved. I don't know why he's not getting the ball. And Butler come back. It's not like we need him, but it might open up the run game a little bit more. Like, we don't need it to really be open that much more. We're doing great running the ball because we have a dual threat quarterback. But he needs his big man. All right. Howard, 1 for 11. Ja'Cour Pearson, 3 for 8. Pearson's another guy. He's like our little Tyreek Hill, but he's always getting double covered. But he needs to get open more. San Antonio Brown was receiving. Jacob Harris, 3 for 69. John Shell Kirkland, 4 for 43. And that was really it. They had 129 yards receiving. We had 162 yards receiving off 12 receptions compared to their 13. So on top of that, they didn't do anything. They had a field goal and a touchdown. Field goal was in the second. Touchdown was in the third. Did not convert the conversion. We had a field goal in the first, 2 touchdowns in the second, a touchdown and a failed attempt in the third, and then a field goal in the fourth. Not bad on April 6, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at the Dome at America Center, a.k.a. the Battle Dome. that was the recap. Basically, yep. All right. Player of the game. Player of the game. Got to give it to Sailors. Like I said, 3 touchdowns rushing. Only had 46 yards on the day, but was crucial. Crucial plays. He had the home opener touchdown, first touchdown of the season, and he had clutching first down performances when we needed them. And like I said, 3 touchdowns right there in the end zone. And they weren't walk-ins either. He had a fight to get in. That's my player of the game, right behind Manny Wilkins. I gave him the 2nd star. He did great. All right. Oh, and the keys to that game was our defense was phenomenal. I think they recorded 3 sacks. And I'll go over power rankings after I go over the DC defenders. But yeah, it was great. Defense played stellar. I think they just love it when we're behind them. You know what I'm saying? All right, moving on. Battlehawks versus DC game preview. Week 3 is about to be in the books this weekend, Sunday at 2:00. I believe it's on. What did I see that? ABC. It's on ABC at 2:00. Yeah. That's going to be great. Now, DC Defenders, week 1, defeated the reigning champions of Birmingham Stallions. They beat them 18-11. It was a good defensive game, really. I watched that game. It was a great defensive game. I'm just going to say that. They played at home. They played their first 2 games at home. They played the Memphis Showboats, beat them 17-12. So these games have been consistently close. They haven't seen a team like us yet. So obviously it's only week 3, but this is out of their 3 games. Yeah, you could say the Birmingham Stallions should be up there, but the DC Defenders beat them. That kind of leaves a window/opening for St. Louis to take supreme leadership of the number 1 spot, which we did in the power rankings. But anyway, the DC Defenders has come out and surprised us after they beat the Stallions. Showboats versus DC was up in the air. Not quite sure how they're going to do that. But they have us, then the Brahmas, which they should beat the Brahmas because the Brahmas suck. And then Renegades after that. And then week 6, they got the Panthers, Brahmas, Renegades, Roughnecks, Battlehawks to end the season, week 10 in Washington. They got a pretty decent schedule. I hope the Panthers give them a fight. I hope the Renegades give them a fight. You know St. Louis is going to give them a fight. The Roughnecks probably won't give them a fight, and the Brahmas probably won't give them a fight. So we'll see where that goes from there. Let's check out some of their stats here. Well, and their quarterback is ex-St. Louis Battlehawks, Jordan Tamu. They've scored 35 points on the year. They're averaging 17.5 points a game. They have no rushing touchdowns on the year. They have 2 passing touchdowns on the year. That's not great. They have 563 total yards. Penalties per game, 9. So they're a very heavy penalized team. They have 8 sacks. Like I said, they've only scored 2 touchdowns, and they have all field goals, maybe? Field goals made, yeah. They've made 7 of 8 field goals. Their red zone percentage is 29%. That is not great. That tells me that they do not do well under pressure. Now, moving around here. We are going to get into some audio courtesy of St. Louis Battlehawks and Fox, of course. We have preview before and after the game. Let's go into this right before the game.
said when you watch the film, if there were some plays left out there, how tonight do you make sure you take advantage of all the opportunities? I think it just comes down to preparation. As a player, former players, we always felt like we had the answers to the test when we were prepared. We pushed that on our players and really sustaining special teams, offense, defense, what we did last week to improve upon it. So I trust my players. I love these guys. They deserve to perform great. I can't wait to watch it. Home opener, rematch of the conference championship game. Talk about the atmosphere and what you expect from the Battlehawks team. Let's go, get loud. If I had a towel today, I'd be whipping it around. I love this fan base. St. Louis is awesome. I'm glad it's a great environment. All right, appreciate you. Thanks,
in the middle of his interview, we show up. All right. Now, this was after the game against the San Antonio Brahmas.
The ability of the offensive line to continue to impose their will.
Yeah, listen, he's been a big part of our success in the running game. Buyer beware when you stick the ball like that. If you get it, it's a great play. If you don't, you got to answer to it after it. But, we had two critical penalties on a third down and a big play early in the game. We can't have that. And then we let up that third down conversion. That really kind of ticks me off. We got that. But I love the effort for our guys. The score is nothing when we come out. So we got to come out and battle. This team will give us all they got.
Conversation, nothing, clean up the penalties and move forward.
100%. We got to finish games. You got to play 60 minutes in this league. With all the type of scoring that you can do, we can't let the foot off the neck in this one like we did last week.
Thanks.
The score is 0-0 when we come back out here. Even though you're up significantly and you're destroying them, you still have the mentality to tell your players, hey, this game is not over. We have another half to go out there and play football in our home with our crowd with us. Score 0-0. Let's go out there and play some football. I like it. Anthony Beck. I love it. Now, here's him in the locker room after the game. All right. I really like this because it's Anthony Beck, and he's always fired up, dude. This is why he's still our coach. Anthony Beck in the locker room, courtesy of Fox and the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Seriously, guys, it's a pleasure, all right, watching you guys perform. All right, listen, as a former player, it is hard to come out and sustain the same energy, the same desire, the same wants to go out there and beat a team for 4 quarters. And that's what you did. Give yourself that hand. To me, I feel like everybody's kind of touching this team right now. I don't see any pissed off guys. Guys are rooting for each other. I'm telling you guys, if we stay together and we do this as a team, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, man. All right, our goal is there. We got a couple of them. You know what they are. All right, championship game number 2 is in the books, right? Congratulations to you. I'm proud of you guys. Let's celebrate!
Doesn't that just get you fired up? It does, man. I love his after locker room talks after the game. Win or lose, but who knows? Who knows where this season will go? I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to bring it in the atmosphere. I want to let the season ride and enjoy it while it's here. All right? But other than that, we have another home opener we have another home game this week. All right? And we're going to show up again. And we're going to be there. Oh, let's go over standings, shall we? I forgot to go over that. As I was saying earlier, your St. Louis Battlehawks after week 2 has moved up to number 1. Now they are okay. We are 2-0. First place in the XFL division. Arlington Renegades right behind us, 2-0. Second place in the XFL division. Why are we in first? Why are they in second? I believe it's because we have more points scored. Or it could be points against, whatever. We have less points against because we've only let up 16 or whatever, 15 points. That's great. DC Defenders 2-0, third place in the XFL. So you have 3 teams that are 2-0 that are in the XFL division. The other XFL division team is the San Antonio Brahmas, and they're 0-2. They're in 7th. All right. Birmingham Stallions are 1-1 in their first place in the USFL division. Michigan Panthers are 1-1 again because they have less points for. Memphis Showboats 0-2. They're in third place. And Houston Roughnecks are 0-2 in fourth place. Houston Roughnecks have got their booties smacked in 2 weeks. Your week 2 UFL sack leaders, our number 7, Pinta Tamu Pinu. He has 3 sacks. Week two tackle stat leaders. We're not even in the top 6 or top 10. Reception leaders, Ja'Cour Pearson with 9. Top guys, Jay Adams on the Showboats with 15. Receiving yards, Ja'Cour Pearson, 91. He's in 7th. Guy on the Showboats leading the way is Jay Adams, 221. If we had Butler, it'd be a different ball game. Rushing yards leader, Kalen Balaj, ex-NFL running back for the Ravens, I believe. He has 148 yards. Jacob Sailors has 144, and Javon Howard has 128. And Manny Wilkins has 101. So we have the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th spot in rushing stat leaders. Passing leaders, of course, Luis Perez with 375 yards. Of the Renegades, Jordan Taimu, 363 yards, DC Defenders, and then Manny Wilkins at 3rd with 351. So that will change this game when we face the DC Defenders and show them what this defense is really all about. We also introduced our mascot. He is a Battlehawk, and his name is Archie B. I don't know if you can see him, but there he is. It's not the best of pictures, but look, you can look it up. On top of that, looking at the rest of the schedule, we got DC at home. They were going to Arlington, and then home again against Michigan, and then home again against Arlington. So we got Arlington within 2 games within 3 weeks, one at home and one at away. And then away at Memphis, and then home to Birmingham and San Antonio again, and then away at DC to finish the year. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. They gave us 2 weekends back-to-back, then a break, 2 weekends back-to-back, then a break, 2 weekends back-to-back. And then the last game of the season. But on top of that, make sure you go check up our YouTube page on 314 Sports, up on YouTube, X, anything you got. And yeah, make sure you tune into the game on ABC Sunday at 2:00. Another home game for the Battlehawks. Let's just show them what we're about. My prediction for this game. My keys to this game, again, is going to be a solid defense like we've been playing these past 2 weeks. Our D-line getting those sacks like it's their sack lunch. Oh, that was stupid. And again, our offense running the ball. Just keep running the ball. It's working. And then throw it when we absolutely need to. But our 2-headed monster with Wilkins and Sailors, I mean, bring it on. That was my week 2 preview and my review, and that was my week 3 review. All right. So until next time, I am Jordan. This is 314 Sports, the Battlehawk Show. So until next week, guys, caw is the law.